Hi, folks. This is this video was intended to be for Patreon. It was supposed to be a status video, but I can't log on to Patreon for some reason. I can log on to YouTube, okay, but I can't log on to Patreon for some reason. And I'm pretty sure it's my really bad internet connection. It just keeps timing out on Patreon. And it's getting to the point where after I get the August 1st dark matter video out, I'm going to start looking for another video, another means of getting internet speed up here to the mountains. I think I'm going to actually go for the cost of a dedicated T1 line, because this Verizon jetpack is worthless. It's worse than worthless. I pay money for a unlimited, and I only get about 15 gigabytes of good, decent bandwidth, which only lasts me about a week. And then the next part of the week, it's on or off. It keeps crashing. It keeps going offline. It even goes offline when I've got the high bandwidth. So I'm at my wit's end with this Verizon piece of crap jetpack. Okay, so what you're looking at, this is where I am in Fusion 360 designing the Paradox 3 generator. Sebastian recommended that I make sure I measure the rings before I do any design work. And that's cool. I haven't gotten the rings in yet. Turns out I missed an email where they said they were out of stock on one, and they gave me an option to send what they have, and I should, because I ordered two different size rings. And I just replied to them, send me what you have, and let me know when the other ones come in, and I'll make a second order. But in any event, I'd want to go along with the design. The good thing about Fusion 360 is I can parameterize everything. So if I want to go to a different ring size where the rings aren't the size they're supposed to be, okay, I can just change this to 4 and 4. And so now that could be used in a different ring size. And so all the other parts will scale accordingly. This is one of the great, I like this tool. I don't know if other CAD tools are like this. I've only ever used circuit tools in the past, circuit CAD, like PSpice and OrCAD and all that stuff. I've never really used a CAD tool. And when I was doing my research on the CAD tools for 3D printers, this Fusion 360 was highly recommended. So that's what I started with. I know my Patreon folks recommended other things, so I didn't get a chance to go check all those out, because the minute I heard the other 3D printer guys say definitely go Fusion 360, I downloaded the free and I started reading all the videos on how to do it. And it seems like it's pretty straightforward. It does really cool stuff. So I'm going to stick with it right now because it's what I know, and I don't really have time to go look on all the other ones. So maybe later on, after we get past the Paradox 3 and the railgun builds, maybe I'll look into upgrading to a better CAD tool at that time. So I mean, this is what we have here. Is we have the rings holder, this little shadowy thing. That's the ring. These are the ring holders. This is the trolley that's going to be spinning inside the ring, and this is the trough for the brush assemblies. Going to be using a pencil lead, a hard pencil lead, inside a copper tube. I found copper tubes that are exactly 2 millimeter inside diameter, just like the black pencil leads. I'm going to be using the pencil leads as brushes. The only thing I'm trying to figure out now is how to get a spring to push the pencil lead against the thing. I thought I was going to use ballpoint pen springs, but those are too stiff. So I'm looking for softer springs to be able to apply pressure. And the other thing I'm going to do is, instead of putting brushes coming up here for the pickup, I'm going to put a small Arduino circuit on here with some microvolt operational amplifiers to kick up the voltage, operated from a couple of batteries, and using a little LED to transmit serially what the voltage readings are between the two brushes. That way no one can argue that the coupling is being done through the closing path, which is their big argument in the past. So I'm going to get rid of the closing path. And then this generator will show what it's supposed to show, is that relativity is wrong, that the only explanation is the ether, and that the classical magnetic flux model has to be corrected in order to be used. I'm going to say it needs to be thrown out altogether, but it could be corrected. And so might as well just correct it instead of throw it out. But I've got a better model for the magnetic flux coming in the later anyway. But this is a temporary step just to give it a slight correction so that it's applicable in this case. So that's where we are now. Again, I can't log on to Patreon, so either through the blog or leave notes. Those who can't log into the Patreon site, let people know that these videos are here and they're available. And next week, if my connection improves, I will post these on the Patreon site, and we'll also be putting out the dark matter video at 11 o'clock, August 1st. For those who don't know, I'm going to be explaining where the dark matter's been hiding. It's so simple that physicists are going to do a facepalm because they're not going to realize how simple the dark matter explanation is. I may not have my simulation done then, but I'll have the simulation of the dark matter explanation probably the next weekend because I'm just getting behind with all these nuances. The other thing that's happening as well is my tax accountant says that I can start declaring parts of the house as part of the business, and I can start deducting space that I'm using for the Ethereal Mechanics project as part of a business expense. So what I got to start doing is organizing things into very, discrete areas in the house instead of sprawled out all over the place, so that I can make a home office deduction and be legitimate about it. Not just declare everything, but really legitimate spaces like lab spaces, bench spaces. One whole room I'm going to dedicate to this effort, and some bench spaces in the garage and the office area in the master bedroom, things like that. So I'm distracted with these other accounting things to save the money that I give to Uncle Sam because this is becoming a home business, as it were. Anyway, that's it for now. Have a nice weekend. I'll see you at the next weekend when I do the next posts. Thank you very much.